Today I'm going to do another painting of a cat. And I'm going to try to use a different paper for the same technique that I used last time, which is scratching when the paint is still wet on the paper. This time I'm using Strathmore 140 pound cold press. And we're going to see how this is going to work out with the technique. Okay, I'm going to start with some composition. And just take a very light color. Take a look where I'm going to draw the face of the cat. I'm going to put it here to see. That's the ear. That's just another ear. Let's see. That's the face of the cat. The top of the head over here. Okay. Let's take a look. In that case, their shoulder would be here. And this side of the, you can see part of the back. And this just looks like a V shape, a triangle. There's some white. And you can see a little bit of the legs. You can put a little leg over here. There's a little paw at the bottom here. Okay, so we're not gonna do the top of the refrigerator or the wall. So I'm gonna keep that a little soft, this kind of background. So this is good. We'll give it another try with the wet scratch. And I'm gonna see where are gonna be the two eyes. Mark the location of the two eyes. I know some of you may be a little scared to do drawing with watercolor, and it's very similar to you draw with wine charcoal or even graphite pencil. You just put the light color there if you don't like the color, if you don't like the positions, and you can just like using eraser to erase it. And even easier to do it with the eraser. Let's use the water. And I'm going to put a little color here just for the drawing part. I'm going to put the place for the nose. Just put it here, part of the drawing. But I draw with the red color, like that. And come down here with a little mouth. You can see that. Again, this is the location for the mouth. Okay. I'm not sure. I think I'm gonna let go of the color and the tag. I'm gonna let go of that. So before I'm gonna put the dark color, I'm gonna start getting those the middle tone soft color first, because that would be similar to it's not going to be too dark for that. So let's take a look, and I'm going to start using a darker 1-inch flat brush. I'm going to see. I'm going to put in some light color, and that color could be just this a little bit too warm. I'm going to get a little yellow color. Sometimes if you want to make it exaggerate, intensify the color a little bit, this is fine. And I'm going to start with the neck here. And on this side, and at this side, this is actually too much yellow. So I'm going to put a little blue color. A little tap of blue, the blue color here. So let's see. Under here, a little bit of darker, and I see a little shape for the nose, like that. By the way, the paper I use now for this painting for this experiment is Stramor, cold pressed 140 pound. So I make this side of the neck a little bit darker. And I'm going to also start working into the background, start coming in. The ear maybe you're going to have some fuzzy or transition colors getting into the background. That could be fine. I'm expecting that. And I'm going to take this color, burnt sienna, as the background colors. Start from the back. Now I'm going to coming down here. I'm going to use change the color a little bit, coming down, and maybe I'm going to use a little bit more yellow color. Let's see. It's okay. And I'm going to start counting the time. A little bit more yellow color on this side for the background. And maybe have a little bit, get a little bit umber colors getting into this area. Okay, now I'm going to start adding the colors for starting from the top, from the ear. There probably two-step of process. It's almost 1 minute since I putting the color. Okay. Okay, this is good. I'm gonna start from this side of the ear. I'm gonna come to this side of the ear, the top of the head. Let's see. This shape can get a little bit lower. That's good. I'm painting around the shape of the eye. We can come back to use lifting off to refine the shape. Okay. Let's come down a little bit. Okay, let's see. So this is the eye. I'm going to lift that mostly, the shape of the eye. Okay. It's already 2.5 minutes. So this side of the face get a little bit more out, a little bit more, so the shape a little bit more rounded. Now we'll come into the shoulder. This is considered the first round of their dark color. That's the par. And I come to this side. It's already 3.5 minutes. I'm gonna come back to the top over there. I'm gonna put another round of darker color on the face. Okay, that's good. I'm gonna come here for the ear, shape the side of the ear. Okay, and for the body, I'm going to do a little bit faster with a bigger brush. I want to make it much darker and quicker. Okay. Now I'm gonna do the scratch. Let's see if it's too early or too late. Let's see. That's good. And on this side. And on top here. One more. Okay, let's take a look. I think I'm gonna have a little bit over here that I want to have a couple as a look a bit more dominant. Actually start in here and a couple. I don't want to do too much, and this is good. Now I'm going to wait a little bit, let it dry. Now the painting already dry, I'm going to come back to do some adjustment. I'm going to start with this side. I'm going to make it a little darker in the background, so connect it to the side of the cat. I'm going to use a bigger brush. and this is a 1.5 inch. That's good. I'm gonna come in here for the top. I'm gonna let go of this couple dot. I'm gonna come in here to soften a little bit the side of the ear, and then prepare for me to do the next step to help to define the side, the ear better. Okay. On this side, that's definitely too much. And on the side of the face, I'm going to cut in here and then let go of this area. That's the shape of the ear. Okay, that's good. I'm going to add a little fresh colors back in here. I don't want to look like a drive or suddenly too light. Okay, just give enough suggestions. That's good. Now that's good. Now I'm gonna let that dry. Let the wet actually connect it into the color, so it won't feel kind of isolated. Okay. Let go a little bit of that. Strathmore watercolor paper has very good features and benefit. It very easy to manipulate the colors, and you can let go the colors much easier than like arches, and have enough flexibility for you to do different techniques. Now I'm going to come into the eye area. Inside the eye is not just white. It's not white. So looks like the eye can become up a little bit. So I'm going to use a little greenish colors, to the yellow plus a little blue, but just a little bit. It's not a lot. So I'm going to get a little bit yellow colors and pick up a little blue color here. And I suggest us always look for what color you already have on your color palettes. You don't have to all the way go back to get the original colors, because the color you already have, maybe it's very close to the color you try to mix into. Okay. That's good. And just use the tip of the brush. Try to move the color in the area, the shape. Okay, on this side. Okay, that's good, in the right location. Now, it has a highlight. So I try to keep the highlight. Here you go. So as you started the painting, you don't need to worry too much, because depends on what paper you are using, can give you different degree of flexibility. To change. Okay, I'm going to keep the highlight there, and also on this side, it actually looks a little bit lighter because the reflected on the other side of the eyeball. So use a clean brush, I can lift up the color. So make this look like a little bit more glassy. It's good. Also, I want to expand this triangle light shape a little bit more. Okay, like that. Okay, now the eye is good. Now I'm going to go into the nose area. I'm going to get the red colors. So I'm going to start from this side and the bottom of the nose. Okay. Let go most of the water, because the areas is very small, so I don't really need that much colors. Like that. Maybe a little bit more red. Okay. Now I get a little bit brown colors. This would be a good color to continue downward. Here. That looks pretty good. Now I'm getting a little bit darker warm colors. Okay, mix these two together. I'm gonna fine tune the nostril right there. Okay, good. Put a little dot over here. And now on the other side, I'm gonna get a little darker color. This is maybe dark enough. Look like there's a spot at the right side of the nose. A little darker. A little bit darker, so I'm gonna get a little bit more red in here. That's good. I'm gonna putting on this side. And then just make this color a little bit warmer, just for this short line. Maybe a little bit too long, so I'm gonna soften that, move it up a little, and a little warmer colors here. Okay, little suggestions. Now I'm gonna move down here to give a little suggestions for and between the chin and the neck. That should be with a little more yellow and a little more red. Okay, that's good. Let's see, yeah, a little bit suggestions. like this. And soften it. And also from the top here, I'm going to a little fuzzy feeling. So showing that it's furry. That's good. And maybe to show the bottom of the side of the face. So I'm going to just give a little suggestions here. I don't want to disturb the scratch, but I'm going to softly create a little bit suggestions by leave the color a little bit lighter on this side, like that. And maybe a little more here, a little bit. Okay, that might be enough suggestions. A little bit here. Like that. Good enough. Now that's good. Now I'm gonna come all the way up here to give a little definitions to the edge of the ear. Okay. I'm gonna give a little suggestions. I may not want it to be too persistent. A little bit here. This needs to be done after the area is dry. That's why we let it rest for a little bit before we come back here. Okay, that gives enough suggestion. Now we're ready to go back to the eye. First, we're going to do the edge of the eye. What color we're going to do? We're going to use the burnt sienna for the replacement for the yellow, because I already have some yellow color in here. If we get the yellow colors just from the yellow color, it actually the mixed color will be lighter. And so instead, I use the burnt sienna. And I get a little bit of red. Okay, that's good. This color pretty dry. Now I'm going to come to this side. Okay. Just look at the reference. Okay, that's good. Now I'm going to come to this side. A little bit bottom here, good. Now I'm going to working into the pupil. Now come to this side. Let's see. I'm going to make this triangle a little bit smaller. Okay. Now on the other side has a little bit brown colors. I'm gonna But the colors area is so small, so I don't need to have too much water in my brush. So this will be the right color. Like this. This gap a little softer, like that. And I'm gonna come in here too. The pupils can be a little bit bigger. Okay. I'm going to just the clean brush soften this. And on this side, inside the eye, I'm gonna have a little bit darker. Just a little tiny color is good enough. Yeah. A little softer. Dim down a little bit of the value. Okay, good. Like that. Now this eye a little bit more looked a little bit more natural. This. I'm gonna fix a little bit of the highlight over here. A little bit highlight. This should be a little softer, a little growing effect. Okay, good. Like that. Maybe on this side even a little lighter. Let's see. I'm not using white colors, it's just the water. Just the clean brush and take the color out. That's good. Now, let's see what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna suggest a little bit toning on this side of the face. And I'm gonna use this bigger brush. Now, mix a little bit darker colors. Like this. A little bit more red. Good. Here you go. That's probably good enough. Like this. And also going close the edge of the eye. That's good. Like that. And on this side, also here a little bit darker. And up here, also the darker color close to the edge of the eye too. And now I'm going to clean my brush. Just tap on it to connect it with the surrounding area. Okay. All right. Leave the colors extended to this side because my brush is soft enough, so it won't disturb the color underneath too much. And maybe add a little red colors inside the ear here, because Alright, I think this is good. Couple tap, a bigger brush, and it's just do this will look a little bit more random. That, and now I'll use these colors to come down here to suggest it. That's a little bit details on the body. And here too. Like this. Also, I want to give a better suggestions for the paw. Okay, here. And I give it also enough suggestions. There's some yellow on this side, the shadow side. So it's showing that this is not a flat shape, it's just a round shape. That's good. And I want to connect this down here. So you can see this is could be the paw. Okay? Just giving us suggestions. So this is good. Okay, a little bit soften that coming down here. Okay. Couple tap. Okay. Now the painting is completed. I hope you have fun enjoying this lesson.